22 years of service, of her impeccable service, Dr. Das Gupta has numerous accolades and achievements at her credit. She pursued her Masters in English Literature from North Bengal University and Education from NSOU. She has completed her M.Ed from IGNOU and she pursued her PhD from Vishwa Bharati on the topic Indian Women Poets Writing in English.
Thank you, Priya, for your introduction. Now, I have the privilege to introduce our invited speaker, Dr. Rajib Saha, the speaker of this afternoon plenary session. Dr. Saha is currently working as the Assistant Professor, Department of Teacher Education, B.S.A.E.U. Ambedkar Education University. He has done his Masters in English and Education from the University of Kalyani, also B.Ed from there. He obtained his M.Ed degree from IGNOU and PhD from the University of Kalyani. Now, he has also a pretty long teaching experience. I am not going in detail because we love to hear from sir than to hear about the degrees and experiences. So I personally, I feel that the introduction should be as short as possible. Then we can get to know from the, the kind of articulation regarding what this person actually stands for. But just a few things to mention. He is the coordinator of Plagiarism Checking Committee of B.S.A.E.U. and member of Academic Council, Code and ICC of B.S.A.E.U. He is also the coordinator of Postgraduate Diploma in Teaching English, and he has already a number of publications, edited book 1, total 21 articles, research papers, now 14 book chapters, and he has so far delivered 41 lectures as resource persons in national and international level, webinars, workshops, etc., etc. He has chaired 7 national and international level seminars, and he has participated, of course, if the person has so many publications and research skills, then he has, of course, participated in a number of workshops, seminars, or conference, etc. Now, he is now engaged in work that is a book to be published soon, entitled Women in Independent India, Education and Empowerment. Today, Dr. Saha is supposed to talk on issues and challenges of teacher education, the most important field, at least when a seminar is organized at a teacher training institution. So now this session is yours, Dr. Saha. I cordially welcome you to deliver your speech. Sir, please.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Actually, শুরুটা একবার বাংলায় বলে নিই। দুপুরবেলায় সেমিনারে লাঞ্চ করার পরে যিনি বলবেন তার পক্ষেও বলা খুব কঠিন, আর যারা শুনবে তাদের পক্ষে শোনা আরও বেশি কঠিন। আমি বহুদিন ওইদিকে শ্রোতা হিসাবে বসেছি, মানে দুপুরে লাঞ্চের পরে শোনা খুব কঠিন এবং আমার বলাটাও খুব কঠিন। আমি অনেকটা খেয়েছি, আর মানে অতিথি হিসেবে এসছি বলে বেশ আদর করে খাইয়ে দিয়েছে অনেক বেশি করে। Anyway, so first of all, I would like to thank the organizers, especially Principal Sir, Nita Madam, IQAC Coordinator Madam, and Sadar Sir, and all the other faculty members and the students for inviting me as a resource person in this prestigious international seminar. This is really an honor for me. I'm not very long in the system of teacher education, only 4 or 5 years, but they have considered my presence as a resource person here, and that's why I'm thankful to them. I will not talk much about the out-of-the-track system because time is very short. We are running already 40 or 45 minutes late. So, as ma'am was saying, that this is the most important concept in our system whenever we are conducting a seminar in teacher education institution. So, if we think about teacher education, those who are training here, those who are training, I'm using the term quote unquote because I prefer to use the term student teacher rather than training. So those who are student teacher, they also do not believe that teacher education is a is an effective course. They have come here just to earn a degree or to get a degree, not even to earn, just to get a degree, so that they can get a certificate and they can be eligible for SSC or like that kind of job. And some of them will opt for pursuing M.Ed after this course, because at least in the crisis of the in the time of the crisis of government job, they will be somehow eligible for a small job in a private or self-finance college as an assistant professor. I am saying small job because they will pay you very, very, very less. We know how much they pay, and that's why some of you will be there, but most of you do not love this course. And in the whole journey yesterday, I was traveling with Professor Goswami sir, and the whole journey yesterday we are talking about the problem of teacher education. And I personally believe that the whole system is in a sea of problem. The whole system of teacher education is in the sea of problem. And that should be recovered. And several messages, several policies, several concepts have been given by different committees, commission and other bodies, even by the ministers. Theoretically, the vision is really excellent, but in practice, we have seen that teacher education is day by day losing its glamour rather than earning its glamour. So I've just taken 2 quotes here. I will not read it out. You can read it out by yourself. Robert Foster said that I'm not a teacher but an eye-opener. The concept of teacher has changed somewhat. Every day it is changed actually, with the changing concept of theory of pedagogy, theory of psychology, theory of teaching. The concept of a teacher, the role of a teacher also changes every day. So nowadays we say that the role of a teacher is the role of a facilitator. He is not an authority but a friend. But who is a good teacher? You can remember 1 or 2 of your school teachers. One of those in our generation, I left my school long 23 years ago. I can remember only 2 or 3 teachers from my school. I can remember their class, how they used to teach in our school. But most the other teachers, I have lost the memory of their class. I know him by face or her by face, but I can remember only 2 or 3 teachers because of their teaching, because of their holistic approach. So if you want to be a teacher and if you want to be remembered by your student, if you want to put some imprint in the mind of your student, you need to be a teacher. William Ewart has said mediocre teacher, good teacher, superior teacher, great teacher. But I personally believe that if you are a teacher, then you need not to be good. If you are a teacher, you are good. You are best and you are excellent. There is no comparison of good, bad, better or excellent. If you are a teacher, by the actual connotation of the term, then you should be good. You are good actually. Your pupils will accept you as teacher. Otherwise not. So the role of teacher education is really very important in the progress of a nation. I am not saying that. It was said by the Kothari Commission. Kothari Commission said that the future of a nation is in the classroom. And that's why it was said at the beginning of the report they were putting in favor of teacher education. So if teachers are the backbone of a society, then they should be prepared the most important manner, in the most dignified manner. But what is happening here, what is happening in our nation, what is happening in our state, what is happening around you? I am giving a small example. In West Bengal, we have 31 government-aided teachers training colleges. Sir, and 6 government teachers training colleges. Total 37 government or government-aided teachers training colleges. And some university departments. তার মধ্যে ক্যালকাটার অ্যাফিলিয়েশন চলে গেছে, কল্যাণীটা চলে গেছিল, কালকে আবার ফেরত পেয়েছে, আর 5টা আছে। রবীন্দ্রভারতী নেই এখন, ক্যালকাটা নেই, রবীন্দ্রভারতী নেই, মানে সব মিলিয়ে 5টা ইউনিভার্সিটি আছে। তাহলে টোটাল 37 7 plus 5, 42 government sectors where teacher education are being imparted. But there are 604 self-financed teacher education institutions in West Bengal. Okay, 604. And another interesting picture is that in all the government and government-aided colleges, except one, there is only one in it. That means they can teach only 50 students in their college. But in most of the self-financed colleges, there are at least 2 units. They can teach 100 students. So the number, if you compare, 40 is to 1200. On the 40 government-aided colleges and 1200 self-financed colleges. Now I am going to the next one. Okay, I will skip this. This you all know. The role of training and education, acculturating, combating, liberating, integrating and economic. So what NEP 2020 is saying? Teacher education is vital in creating a pool of school teachers that will shape the next generation. It has been said in every policy. सब कथाई बोला था कि भालो भालो कथागुलो very much there in policy. Okay, the next concept, very important. Justice Verma Commission report. In 2014, Justice Verma Commission said that more than 10,000 teacher education institutions are not maintaining their quality of imparting teacher education. Moreover, they are selling degrees for a price, quote unquote, selling degrees for a price. Whenever Verma Commission said this, there were only 11,500 something number of teacher education institutions at all in India. That means these 10,000, mostly they have not, the report has not used the concept self-finance, but these 10,000 were actually self-finance colleges. Actually, it is not that I am speaking against self-finance colleges. Self-finance colleges should not be established, but their quality should be maintained. So, how to get rid of this problem? And that's why NEP 2020 is saying this. Something to recover, something to get rid of all these problems. So many good adjectives are there, so many excellent adjectives are there, so that the glamour, so that the glory, the grandeur of teacher education may be recovered. And that's why the concept of imparting teacher education in multidisciplinary educational institution. So reformation is there. You all know that NEP 2020 has given the concept of 4-year integrated teacher education program. Earlier it was there according to Appendix 13 of NCT Regulation 2014 as B.A, B.Ed and B.Sc, B.Ed. But the nomenclature has been changed, and in 2019 regulation of NCT Appendix 16 it has been named as 4-year integrated teacher education program. Okay. So, and along with this there will be a 2-year B.Ed and a 1-year B.Ed also. And by 2030, all standalone teacher education institutions will be eloped out, and either they will be converted into multidisciplinary institutions or they will be shut down. It was said, it was reported in NEP 2020. But in practice, it has been found that there are more than 17,000 teacher education institutions in India. Among them, more than 15,000 such self-finance colleges. And if you close all these 15,000 self-finance colleges, because only 500 to 1,000 colleges will be able to convert them into multidisciplinary system. So what will you do with the other 14,000 or 14,500 colleges? You will have to close it down. But how is it possible? The corporate will be against the total system. Which system I am not mentioning, you all know that. Okay, and that's why policy reformation is being again in the practice, is being again in the form of formation that a public-private partnership is going to be there to impart 4-year integrated teacher education program in government colleges. Suppose there is a government or aided degree college in Siliguri, and there are 3,000 students in 30 departments of that college. Okay. So how will they run the teacher education program together? Because the normal graduation is also going to be taking 4 years, research-oriented graduation. So 30 departments mean 30 new batches, 30 new group of students. You need 30 new classrooms first. Okay, and you need minimum 30 methodology teacher for that college. In a government-aided college, if 30 teacher is to be appointed, then how many teachers are needed in the state of West Bengal? Just think about it. How many colleges are there and how many teachers are needed? Government will not appoint that in a year or in 2 years or in 3 years or 4 years and even in coming 10 years. So it is not possible for them to implement that, and that's why one government-aided degree college or one government degree college is going to be tied up with 5 or 6 or 10 self-finance colleges to impart 4-year integrated teacher education program. And that will, I am afraid that will also deteriorate the quality not only of teacher education but also of the total higher education system. This will be very much problematic. Firstly, I will talk about all the concept of disappointments and I will end the concept with positivity. Okay, I'll try to do that. So so many points are there to be considered regarding problems of teacher education. I have tried to point out some of them. Issue with the curriculum and transaction. I have divided it into 3 concepts: curriculum framework, curriculum construction, and curriculum transaction. If you see that, you will find the national curriculum for teacher education only in 1988. Before that, in 1978, a curriculum framework was formed, but that was not national curriculum for framework for teacher education. The national curriculum for framework for teacher education came only in 1988 after the second national education policy. So, whatever may be there in this course, but in practice, actually, teacher education was not given priority, and that's why the delay in constructing the national curriculum framework. And whenever framework was founded, even in NCFT 2009, National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education 2009, and NCT Regulation Revised Curriculum 2014, and we have got a draft of the new 4-year integrated teacher education curriculum. Whatever we have seen that, the first one, lack of sound theory. Those who are students of B.Ed and those who are students of M.Ed and those who are teacher educators, you all know that. Could you please find only one theory of psychology which has originated in India? You are reading in B.Ed psychology or M.Ed psychology. One theory of sociology, one theory of philosophy. Philosophy is there, Indian philosophy is there. Pedagogy, nothing is there actually. Very few are there, mostly nothing is there. So whenever you are preparing a curriculum framework for a nation like India where the highest population is there now, you are using the theoretical concept directly which has been originated in other countries. But you are not adapting it, you are moreover copying it or adopting it. And that is the basic weak point of the curriculum framework. And then I was talking about the long delay in framing the curriculum framework, and then the effective policy crisis. Whenever policy is framed by any commission or committee or government, the policy needs a long time to be effective. Even sometimes the policy is effective only on the policy report, not even on in the practice. And in case of curriculum framework, it came, as I was saying, in 1988. But just think, till now, NCT regulated one curriculum is there, but till now, I have been in Gujarat recently, I have been in Punjab recently in technical institution. I was saying that in your M.Ed, you do not have any specialization regarding your method subject. Do you have? No. But Punjab University is following that. They use the specialization of your methodology subject. But in your M.Ed, all of us are having the same curriculum. So, effective policy crisis is there. Even NCT is giving a framework, but the whole of the institutions are not following that framework. But that is not being monitored by the NCT. In our state, we follow one methodology subject curriculum, one pedagogy subject curriculum in B.Ed. But in the central universities and in the teacher education institutions of South India, mostly two subjects, two pedagogy subjects are being taught. Even in Odisha, sir, I think, two subjects. But in West Bengal, we are still having one pedagogy subject. So it is not the violation of the curriculum framework given by NCT? No one is there to monitor that. Everyone is there to monitor. This college should be shut down, this college should be kept open, and something else. And now the curriculum construction, content construction on the basis of the curriculum framework. That is, curriculum is not only scientific, The curriculum in B.Ed, which our university runs in West Bengal, it is of 80 credit. Among them 40 credit out of theory and 40 credit out of practicum. In 40 credit of theory, we will have to spend 640 hours in 4 semesters. But in 40 credit of practicum, you will have to spend 1280 hours in 4 semesters. Do you really spend 1280 hours in 4 semesters in practicum? I am not asking it to the self-finance colleges or the bad colleges. I am asking it to all the good colleges, even to myself. I am also a teacher educator at the heart of this system in our state. We do not use 1280 hours for practicum in the system. Even if when our student goes to internship program in school, we the teachers think that only once in a week we can visit the school. We will visit the school only once in a week and for half an hour or something like that. And that will make everything. And they will bring the learning design, I will approve that. Otherwise the mentor teacher will approve that. It will do everything. This is the problem. So, curriculum is not scientific actually. And the transaction, that will also come there. And actually curriculum is not actionable. Some units are there and hours are being marked just by the unit. 6 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours. Some topics are there which needs only 1 or 2 hours, some units. And some units are there where 6 hours is being allotted, but it needs more than 30 hours. This kind of concepts are there. It is not the whole system is wrong, but to follow the curriculum framework and to cope up with the normal system, somebody has to do something with the total theoretical perspective, theoretical practicum. They all know that 1280 hours of practicum is not possible, but no one is there to raise the issue in front of the regulation of NCT. No one is there to oppose it by written or oppose it by law. And the problem of curriculum transaction. Okay. Less orientation of the teacher educators. I have said it here. When NCT 2014 regulation come, the existing teacher educators suddenly had to shift from 1 year to 2 year B.Ed. The madam was there, so many senior teachers are here, they were there as teacher educator. Could you please say that any orientation program was being held by any NCT or any affiliating of bodies to how to transact a 2-year curriculum? No, it was not there. And again it is going to be 4 years. No orientation program is there. We are just subject to one RC, one FIP for our promotion, and in the second case one FIP, one RC, sorry, in the second case one RC. But we do all these things just to earn our promotion, not to improve ourselves. Some of us are generally normally improved by that. As you are pursuing a course, if you are serious, you will be improved. But that is not, we are not doing that to cope up with the coming problems or something like that. That is only for promotion. So no orientation is there. Resource is very much limited. Suppose this college will have to run 4-year integrated teacher education program from the very next year, from 2024-25. It is a very good college. Siliguri B.Ed college is a very good college. Excellent infrastructure is there, but even after that, this college is not capable of running 4 years together, 4 batches together. No infrastructure is there. the number of faculty members are not enough to conduct this course. But our state probably will start integrated teacher education program from the very next year. Okay, so we will meet a new crisis. And then comes the methodology. As I was saying, the teacher educators, Sir was asking me yesterday, which tool you are using in your teacher education system. I just replied that nothing, sir. We are not using anything in teacher education, because we need not to teach, we need not to come even, and we need not to run the class, we need not to conduct the practica. Everything is conducted on pen and paper. And in most of the cases, obviously exceptions are there, good colleges are there, some of the teachers are really effective, but in most of the cases we see that nothing actually takes place. The student teachers who are pursuing B.Ed, they are pursuing B.Ed to earn a degree, to get a degree, so that they can be eligible for SSC, and we are also giving them degree rather than making them to learn how to be innovative. Okay, so no proper methodology is there to impart the curriculum of teacher education or to transact the curriculum of teacher education. Next, the infrastructural issues. I have already addressed this. Role of NCT. Whenever a teacher education institution is recognized by NCT, a team from NCT comes in the institution and they inspect the infrastructural concept, and only after satisfactory report, they issue the recognition. And then comes the concept of the affiliating institution. They also send a team, and if they are satisfied, only after that they affiliate the institution, and the institution starts running. Okay, but I have visited so many private colleges to take practicum examination for other purpose. Recently, in one college, I went there, that is a famous college, and that's why I am not taking the name, self-finance college. I went there to take practice teaching, third semester practicum exam. So, when I asked to sir, I will go to your college after attending the school. Sir, today, yes. No sir, today will be very late. Okay, oh sir, অন্য দিন যাবেন স্যার। না আজকেই যাব, স্কুলটা শেষ করার পর আমি আজকেই যাব। আমি যখন গেলাম, আমাকে নিয়ে যাবে না, জোর করে গেলাম, গিয়ে আমাকে প্রথমে ডিরেক্টরের ঘরে বসালেন, আর কোথাও যেতে দেবে না। তা আমি ইচ্ছে করে ঘুরতে শুরু করলাম, ঘুরে ক্লাসরুমগুলো দেখলাম সব ধুলো ভর্তি পড়ে আছে। তা আমি ওদের প্রিন্সিপালকে জিজ্ঞাসা করলাম যে স্যার ক্লাস টাস হয় না? বলছে হ্যাঁ হয়, এই তো 7 দিন মতো বন্ধ আছে, তাই ধুলো পড়ে গেছে। দ্যাট ইজ দ্য সুপারপোজিশন অফ ডাক্ট। And that has been gathered there after 2 or 3 or 4 years. Class হয় না, কিচ্ছু হয় না। কাগজে কলমে they are one of the best colleges in West Bengal, and that has been recognized by NCT, that has been affiliated by my university, and they are running the course. They have 150 students, 3 units are there, everything is there, but the system is like that. So role of NCT is not to, I think, it is not only to recognize the institution by inspecting the college once. It should be a regular, there should be a regular monitoring system. And here comes also the concept of government departments. If government is not cooperative here, nobody will be able to emulate this system. So infrastructure, whenever infrastructure issues come, it is not only the infrastructure of the TEIs, teacher education institution. Here comes also the issue of infrastructure of laboratory school, the schools where we send our students for internship. Okay, this we all know. Classroom structure, laboratories, ICT support, maintenance is very less in almost all the institutions. Even in my campus, in the main campus of WBUTTP, that is B.S.A.E.U now, there is no such laboratory actually. Some laboratories are there, so many things are there, but there is no such laboratory, I am saying. And in most of the TEIs, that is the actual concept. ICT support, to show some of the rooms have been decorated as smart room and like that, but no classes have been taken there. nothing is being imparted there. Maintenance is very low. It is bought whenever you need the recognition from the NCT and the university application from the university. Whenever the purpose is fulfilled, everything is kept either in dirt or in lock and key. Okay. And so for the infrastructure of laboratory school is concerned, you know, some of the schools are not even giving permission to the teacher education institution so that they can conduct internship there. Baliganj Government School, once it was the laboratory school of Delhi Training College, but they are not willing to give us permission for conducting internship there in that kind of school. And this is a very big problem for the self-finance colleges. And that's why they are not sending, and the students are also not going to participate in the internship. Access. You cannot access all the facilities of a school. They can give you school only for 55 days or 15 days, and they will say that, okay, come and take 2 or 3 classes every day, and after you go. You will not be allowed to perform the whole internship. You will not be allowed to see the attendance register. You will not be allowed to see the attendance register of the teachers. You will not be allowed to see the records of the midday meal. But in internship, you need to see everything. They will not access. Coordination is very low between the TEIs and the laboratory schools. And timetable. This is a recent problem. Schools are not giving any fixed timetable for the student teachers during internship, and that's why they cannot prepare themselves, they cannot prepare their learning design, they cannot prepare their LTM, learning teaching material, to take a class effectively. Moreover, in most of the schools, a provisional routing are being made on the very day when they reach in the school, and that's why they cannot prepare themselves to be to take an effective class. This is a big problem. Most of the teacher educators are being created by all these teacher education institutions, and so their quality should be questionable. Just think, the society, everything is a part of system. Everything is a part of the larger system. So whenever you are being produced by something and you are going to teach in the same system, you will be motivated by whatever you have learned in your learning days. A very few will be revolutionary. Next is teacher education by choice or by chance. This is a very important point. You know, if you want to be a teacher educator, you need to spend 2 years in B.Ed and 2 more years in M.Ed. That means you need to spend 4 more years to be a teacher educator. So I was discussing with Sir yesterday that if you want to be a teacher educator, at least you need to spend 28 years of your life to earn the degrees, and then suppose you have qualified your NET and SET while you are pursuing your degree, and then you will have to wait for 6 months or 1 year or 2 years for the CSC. When you will be in the system, you will be 30 or 30 plus if you are recruited in the very first year. And if it is not, then you will cost 35. And if it is again not, you will lose your age, because you will cost 40. But no extra remuneration or incentive is there for the extra qualifications. So why will the good students, so-called good students, will spend 4 more years to become a teacher educator rather than becoming an assistant professor in a general degree college or a general degree university? That's why we, including me, we the second class students generally come to be teacher educator. Those who of us have nothing to do rather than becoming the teacher educators. And that is why we are teacher educator, most of us. We are teacher educator not by choice but by chance. Another thing is the sincerity of student teachers. Your student will guide you to be good teacher or bad teacher if you use the term good or bad. If your students are really energetic, that's why the teachers are getting more option to be quote-unquote happy-baji. Okay. This is very much practical, and that's why the lack of dedication is very much there. Challenges due to unemployment. Unemployment after pursuing the teacher education courses. After doing B.Ed or M.Ed. In our days, we knew that if I complete my B.Ed, I will get a job in a school. Because only 37 colleges were there, and only 3,000 or 2,000 students yearly used to obtain degree of B.Ed, and average 8,000 to 10,000 recruitment were there in school every year. So almost all the B.Ed completed students, exception, obviously 2%, 5%, 10% are exceptions always there. Almost all the student teachers who pursued B.Ed used to get their job after pursuing B.Ed. And some of them are also deputed teachers. But due to unemployment, we have lost their interest, their sincerity, their serious involvement. They are parallelly engaged. In self-finance colleges you will get this, even in government college you will get that. Some of our students are either engaged in a private school or in private tuition or in a corporate, or some creating digital content or working as a content writer or something like that. And that's why they cannot devote wholly to the concept of teacher education and just earning a degree, as I was saying. Okay. Already mentioned all these things. NCT, affiliating body, and government. They are regulatory body in the name. But what they are doing, those who are teacher educators here, they all know what they are doing actually. Okay. Those who are students, they may not know, but those who are teacher educators here, those who are connected with colleges, you all know what they are doing actually. Issue with the administration. This is very sincere issue. I have divided only in 4 groups: standalone university, standalone government or aided TIs, college or university department where B.Ed or B.Ed is being conducted, and self-finance TIs. And this is the structure of standalone university: Vice-Chancellor, Registrar, Departmental Head. And if these two are also, the upper two are also of teacher education, it is easier for you to run the system. If they are not, or if they are teacher educators but they are not very much academic, then it is very tough for the departmental head to cope up with all the rising issues. And then comes the standalone government headed TIs. Department of Higher Education is there, then governing body, and then principal. If it is a government college directly, then no governing body is there. So if the principal wants to do something, he will have to or she will have to take permission from the governing body or from the Department of Higher Education. So whenever you will get permission, you will see that you have already lost your important time. And next comes the college. This is the university department where teacher education is being imparted, and this is the structure of college department. So again, the head of the institution or head of the teacher education concept is not the final authority to take the decision about the teacher education. He or she has to depend on the higher authorities who may be of teacher education, may not be of teacher education, who may be academic in mind, may not be academic in mind. Okay, and this is the structure of self-finance colleges. Teachers are there, principal is there, but the whole decision is taken by only the management. And they will decide what to do. The principal or not the teachers, they will decide what to do. And you know who are the owners of the colleges. Very few of them are really academic minded and teacher educators, and most of them are not academic minded. I am saying this with taking all the stake of it. Either they are businessmen, or they are politicians, or they are investors, or something like that. Funding issues. It is being said said in the last 60 or 75 years that 6% of the GDP will be used for the purpose of education. And what is the picture? I have given some government data. Just think, expenditure rate. And now this one. This is very much important. Last 20 years of funding, GDP, around 2.8 to 4.18. In the last 20 years. And the top one is our expectation, is our target, 6%, since last 70 years. We will use 6% of our GDP in the field of teacher education. I had the opportunity to listen to our late President Prof. Mukherjee once. He was saying that even I am responsible for not allotting 6% of GDP for the field of education. Because I was also once of the finance minister of this nation. I was also a member of the planning commission. I should have allotted that. but even I am responsible. But nothing will be compensated by saying this whenever you have resigned from your politics, you have resigned, you have left all your position as minister or member of the planning committee, everything. At the end of your life, you are saying that I am sorry for that, I could not do that. So if you do not allow 6% of the GDP, if you do not exceed the limit of expenditure in the field of education, it is not possible to impart what has been said in National Education Policy 2020. It is very tough to start ITEP, it is very tough to start 4-year UG program. Even it is very tough to continue all types of teacher education program. 4-year program, 2 years program will also be there, and 1-year program will also be there. So if you want to continue with one in this college, you will need near about 20 to 22 teachers in a college. And you will need, suppose now you are using 3 or 4 rooms, you need 12 rooms then, minimum. So a lot of money, lot of fund is needed to continue. I have just used only these 2 things, ideology-based policy and federal conflict. Ideology-based policy means, if we look into the history, we will see that all the monarchs, all the kings, all the samrats or nawabs, they had tried to impart their ideology, their philosophy through the system of education, and they had, when they came into power, they have changed the system of education. And similar in the case of democracy also. Whenever some power comes into, some party comes into power, they try to impart their philosophical views, ideological views through education. And that is the best way to manipulate the personality of the citizen. And you can see that because in the last 12 years, 2 major changes have been taken place in our state and in the nation. And the first thing the government after change in 2011 did that they formed a new syllabus committee for reframing the school education curriculum in 2011. And probably Sunando Sangal sir was the chairman of it. And when Modi ji came into power in 2014, in 2015 they formed a committee so that a new education policy may be brought. So ideology-based policy conflict is there, and then comes the concept of federal conflict. I will give only one example. When NEP 2020 was implemented in 2020, our state government said that we will not accept that. We the academicians were very much afraid that if we do not accept it and we continue to run 3 years graduation and 2 years B.Ed, then our students will not be valued in the whole educational system of the nation. They will be deprived. So finally, I hope, after forming a committee, the state government have accepted it after 2 years. And that's why this year, central government is introducing ITEP in 67 institutions of the nation. And my university is one of the university which is imparting teacher education, and it was probably the second of this kind of university in the nation. But my university has not been selected as a nodal university to conduct this course at the very first year. Moreover, IIT Kharagpur is starting ITEP in this year. We are not. This is because of the federal conflict concept. So we will run 1 year behind the total system. This is very much a problematic concept. You will find that research on education is very much there. Research on teacher education, only our university has started, and in NIPA it was there, and probably in Tamil Nadu University was there. But no innovative research is there. I have been in thinking that I was saying, whenever we generally do literature review while conducting research, I personally do not give importance to South because most of the educational research which are found in South they are not, most of them are not quality research. Moreover, we prefer to take from SAIS, LCPR or other Scopus Index publications or some foreign so-called first world countries repository. But if you find for a physics research or chemistry research in Chodganga, you will find so many quality research. So there is the lack of quality educational research or quality teacher education research in our nation, and no setup is there. No setup, I will not say no setup, very less setup is there for conducting experimental research in the field of education, because our subject is human beings, students, mostly students. So if you do not get any that kind of atmosphere, some laboratory schools are there in South India, but in our state, in most of the part of India, there is no laboratory school associated with any teacher education institution, so where you can conduct your experimental research. And we do research just to again get a degree or earn a degree and not to innovate. রাশিয়াতে দু রকমের পিএইচডি দেওয়া হয় হতো এক সময়। একটা ছোট্ট গল্প বলবো, প্রায় শেষের দিকে চলে এসেছি। মিখেল বাকতিন, অনেকেই নাম শুনেছেন। মিখেল বাকতিন 1939-এ তার থিসিস জমা করেছিলেন এবং তার অ্যাওয়ার্ড হয়েছিল 1952-এ, মানে তার থিসিস ইভ্যালুয়েশনে 13 বছর লেগেছিল। তো বাকতিনের থিসিস যখন এক্সপার্টদের কাছে গেছে তখন দু রকম ডিগ্রি দেওয়া হয়, একটা ক্যান্ডিডেট, একটা ডক্টরেট। তো যারা সাদামাটা কাজ করতো তাদের জন্য ক্যান্ডিডেট, আর ডক্টরেট হচ্ছে দোজ হু আর ইনোভেটিভ ইন দেয়ার ওয়ার্ক। তো বাকতিনের 13 বছর ধরে ইভ্যালুয়েট করার পরে 3 জন এক্সপার্টই বাকতিনকে রিপোর্ট দিয়েছিল যে তাকে ডক্টরেট দেওয়া যাবে না, ক্যান্ডিডেট দেওয়া হবে। 1970-এর দিকে এসে যখন থিওরিগুলো রিভাইভ করছে তখন দেখা গেল বাকতিন 1913-এ যেটা বলে গেছেন, পরবর্তী থিওরিটিশিয়ানরা 1970s 1980s-এ এসে বলছেন, তখন তার ডিগ্রিটা আবার রিভাইভ মানে রিঅ্যাওয়ার্ড করা হয়েছে। তো আমাদের দেশে সেই সিস্টেম নেই, এভরিওয়ান উইল গেট আ পিএইচডি অ্যান্ড ডক্টরেট and you will be awarded 25 according to UGC rule. If your work is innovative, you will get 25. If your work is just a copy paste তো বলা যাবে না, মানে replica, then you will also get 25. This is the biggest problem, mindset. The student is there is nothing to learn, it is just a degree. বেশিরভাগ স্টুডেন্ট, আমি নিজে স্কুলে ছিলাম 10 বছর, আমরা জানি those who comes in to pursue teacher education course, they come just to earn a degree. They say that there is nothing to learn, you will not ever be able to implement it in the school education system. There is no infrastructure, no opportunity, number of teachers are very less, so this degree will be ineffective in the system. Practicum should be written, not performed. আমরা সবাই লিখি, কেউ প্র্যাকটিকাম, কেউ না, বেশিরভাগই আমরা প্র্যাকটিকাম করি না, আমরা রিপোর্ট তৈরি করি। নেক্সট, EAIs are somewhat isolates in the larger structure of higher education. A college is there, suppose a government college, degree college is there, or government aided degree college is there, and a teacher education institution is there. Everyone gives importance to those that colleges, and the teacher education institution even not as significant as a school. People, the general view. And next is social status of the teacher educators are not like the other HEIs. Whenever I got selected for the University of Teacher Education, my headmaster, I was in a school, my headmaster says that B.Ed University যাচ্ছে তো কিছু পড়াতে হয় না, শুধু যাচ্ছে কেন, তার থেকে তো স্কুলে অনেক ভালো আছে। This is the mindset of the system. Next, government should not take much responsibilities, and that's why only 37 colleges are there. No new government or government-aided colleges have been established in the last 15 years. Okay, but 624 self-finance colleges have been established in our state in the last 15 years. So government had thought that, okay, government institutions, there is no necessity of government institution for teacher education, the self-finance colleges will be able to do that. I am not saying that self-finance colleges will not be able to do that, but a competition should be there so that they are they become compulsive of maintaining the quality. But we have left, the government has left the total system in the responsibility of the self-finance. And we are leaving, as Sanchari ma'am was also saying, the health and education, these two should be the stake of the state. But we are giving an important issue, an important factor in the responsibility of the self-finance system. And then private funds are capable of running the program as well. The policy cannot be implemented. This is a big issue. On the very day when NEP 2020 was approved in the cabinet, I have forgot the date. In the evening of that day, if you look into the social media, you will see that so many posts are there. This policy will end the whole education system, this is bad, worse, worst, and so many like this. I posted one paper, a two-liner comment in Facebook that being a teacher educator, even I could not complete the whole 64 pages document in the evening, but the politicians have completed reading the document and criticized it, and they have found that this education system, the new education system will destroy the whole education system, the new education policy will destroy the whole education system of the nation. So actually we are criticizing to criticize. It is not that the 100% policy can be implemented with 100% success. It never happens. But whenever you are preparing a policy, no doubt, they have a prospective plan, but whenever it is put into practice, you will find some loopholes, you will find some problems, but some lights are obviously there. We should use the light and find out the problem in authentic manner so that the problem may be amended and new policy may come. It is not that this policy will run for 2000 years or 100 years. If it is necessary, a new policy will also come in after 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. But first we need to put the policy into practice, only then we should try to find out the faults, and we should also try to amend the faults of the system. Rather, we believe that the new policy will destroy the nation. It is not only in the case of NEP 2020. It has been in case of almost all the education policies whenever it is being implemented in the nation. And this has been also mentioned in NEP 2020. I am not going to that. National Professional Standard for Teachers. This is also, it seems to me that if it is possible, then that will really bring the golden days of teacher education and the career of teachers. But we will see in the next 10 years what will happen. The red graph or the green graph. Hopefully, we will hope for the green graph, and if it is red graph, then we will again try to innovate some new theories, new system with which the red graph may be changed into a green graph. Thank you for tolerating me after the lunch, and thank you. Thank you for inviting me here.
Thank you, Dr. Saha. Thanks from core of my heart for your so nice. I'll take questions, sir. Please have patience. Just a few minutes. So, yes, the house will be open for discussion, but prior to that, yes, one of the organizers, being the IQAC coordinator, we had to sleep 2 to 3 hours for a couple of days at night. Then I had the sumptuous lunch, then the high-speed fan, but nothing could make me fall asleep. Hats off to you. And I'm also a student of literature primarily, like sir. So what I found that Robert Frost, sir, you mentioned also about Robert Frost. So you know that what is the mark of a true poetry, or of a true poem? That poetry beginning in delight, ending in wisdom. So I am just making a thing, getting transformed it in mind that your speech began in light mood but ended in wisdom. Because it was so relatable. And I found nobody was falling asleep. Everybody was enjoying and nodding, not just to nod, but because we could relate our situation. It was so in a conversational and friendly mode. You just spoke those words, what we feel, but dared to share from a public platform. So hats off, great salute to you. Nothing to, I find that nothing to sum up as such, because there cannot be any sum up to this kind of discussion. So this is an ongoing discussion that we may have. But of course, citing from the main thing that citing from various committees, commissions, now National Education Policy, latest one, Dr. Saha has presented a very clear picture of the present and also of the what can be in future, making a what should I say, should not be a contrast, but vis-a-vis view of the government-aided and self-financed teacher, educational institutions. What is going to be the structure of B.Ed program with from 1 year to 2 year, now the 4-year integrated course. Then the pros and cons of 4-year integrated program regarding the curriculum transaction. Now the present scenario, like lack of indigenous theory, that I find the most fascinating portion, because this is always a downward filtration type. What the first world thinks, the third world is only abiding by that. So where is our own one, the pedagogy, or also the infrastructure issues, then quality of teacher educators, unemployment policies as well as politics, and of course, last but not the least, the mindset. That is the very important thing. What we think, we become, as the Buddha said. So the basic thing, if I have to now just articulate in singles or maybe 2 lines, then how to recover from the negative tag that is attached with the teacher education program, that this is only for degree, this is only for obtaining degree, not for research work, not for gaining knowledge, not for implementing knowledge at all. Now the house is open for discussion. Yes sir, you had one question, just a sec. Please introduce yourself, sir, and then ask your question or maybe the observation that you have.
Thank you so much, sir, for your very nice lecture. I am Mr. Shiva from Esteemed College, Sanchari. So I have actually 2 questions, sir. As per your lecture, so can we say that we are the product of this unscientific, malfunctioned or paralyzed teacher education programs? If so, then how to get rid of this? Because in contemporary situation, we are coming under or falling under the same things. It's called unscientific teacher education programs. As per your lecture, so would you please?
Okay, what I was saying, that unscientific methods are there and we are in crisis. It is not paralyzed. You cannot say that it is paralysis. Okay, as it was also mentioned in the very first half, our speaker, Professor Sanchari Mukherjee, in her speech, she was saying that everything can be mandatory in teacher education. So the future teacher, I am very much hopeful and I consider myself to be, not to be pessimistic but to be optimistic. Okay, and that's why I spent 14 long years after my masters to come into the field of teacher education. 14 long years I spent, and I tried and tried. 13 interviews I was rejected in 13 interviews, and at the 14th came, I won the trophy. So there is nothing called to be paralyzed permanently. Everything can be mended up, I believe. If the teachers, if we discuss about, as ma'am was saying that, I have been dared to say, we the teachers should not be afraid of something. We should dare to say. If we do not speak about the problems, who will speak about the problem? Being a teacher, I need to make my students learn how to ask questions, not to be silent. রিসার্চ ফিল্ডে আমরা অনেক সময় এরকম দেখি যে গাইডকে একটা অন্য কিছু প্রশ্ন করলে গাইড এমন রেগে গেল, তারপরে তারা ডিগ্রি হলো না। দিস শুড নট বি দেয়ার। আমার স্কলার আমার থেকেও যদি ভালো হতে পারে, দ্যাট শুড বি মাই প্রাইড। And he will ask every logical question. It is not that he will ask me or she will ask me a logical question. He or she, every student should know how to ask questions, how to ask the reality. Being a teacher, it is our responsibility to make the students learn how to ask questions. এটা শেখাতে হবে। আমরা অসীম আনুগত্যে পৌঁছে গেছি। কিছু বাংলা শব্দ আছে যেগুলো ইংরেজিতে ফেভার আসবে না, ঠিক আছে? আমরা সীমাহীন আনুগত্যে পৌঁছে গেছি। আমাদের একটা বড় অংশ আমরা ভাবি এইটা বললে মনে হয় আমার যে সোনার চেয়ারটা আছে সেটা নষ্ট হয়ে যাবে, আমার আর কিচ্ছু হবে না। এটা আমরা সবাই ভাবি, কিন্তু টিচাররা যদি এটা ভাবতে শুরু করে তাহলে সমাজ খারাপের দিকেই যাবে, ভালোর দিকে যাবে না।
Sir, it's not paralyzed ultimately. So is this unscientific?
Unscientific approaches are there. So you will have to find out the unscientific portions. Suppose so many teacher educators are here who had the idea before I said that you need to spend 640 hours in the 4 semesters. Sir has prepared the syllabus, and that's why I am not asking it to Sir. Sir was very much there whenever the syllabus was prepared. So who of you had the idea that total 640 hours of theory classes should be spent in the whole 4 semesters and 1280 hours should be spent in the practicum? Who of you are aware? Be honest to yourselves. Most of you are teacher educators. Who of you? Very less of us. So I am being a teacher educator. I am imparting teacher education in my institution, and I don't know even about the curriculum which is very much there. So if you don't know the basic concept, how will you find out the scientific and the non-scientific aspect of curriculum? You will study the syllabus first, you will study the curriculum first, and only then you can prepare a design of how will you import that curriculum, how will you transfer that curriculum. Okay.
Thank you, sir. One more question. So you said, thank you.
Okay, I will answer you later. Okay, no problem.
Sir, you will just share your WhatsApp number or email.
Okay, sure.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Because we are getting late, we have the presentations right now. You have also to return to your own, respective places. And let's end here the play. This will go on, we can carry on. Now you just wait a bit. We will be now distributing the paper presenters to various things. We have the online and offline presentations. So we have, accordingly, we have prepared the list, and that will be announced from here.
আমার ঘরে কি আছে? ম্যাডাম
Dear participants, please attention. অনুরোধ একটু শুনুন। সেটা আমাদের এখন থেকে প্যারালাল সেশন শুরু হচ্ছে। তো প্যারালাল সেশনের জন্য যাদের যে ঘরটি নির্দিষ্ট আছে সেই ঘরের যারা চেয়ারপারসন আছেন তাদেরকে এবং যারা পার্টিসিপেন্টস আছেন, কন্ট্রিবিউটার্স আছেন, ফর পেপার্স তাদেরকে রিকোয়েস্ট করছি একটু সেই ঘরেতে চলে যাবেন। র্যাপোটিয়ার আমাদের স্টুডেন্ট যারা র্যাপোটিয়ার অ্যান্ড অ্যাঙ্কার তারাও কিন্তু তোমাদের নির্দিষ্ট রুমগুলো জানো, সেখানে চলে যাও প্লিজ। আমাদের এই মাল্টিপারপাস হলে চেয়ার করবেন নীতা ম্যাডাম। তো দেবেন ইটি ল্যাব চেয়ার করবেন ডক্টর ঋতুপর্ণা বসাক, Amita Rai and Priya, Anchor Amita and Rapporteur Priya. Please go upstairs. Those who are in ET lab or language lab. Second floor, multipurpose hall, Moitra Bhavan. চেয়ার করবেন ডক্টর রাতুল মুখার্জি, নিধি চিকবাড়ি অ্যান্ড ববিতা প্রধান। অ্যাঙ্কার নিধি চিকবাড়ি অ্যান্ড র্যাপোটিয়ার ববিতা প্রধান। সেকশন এ তিস্তা, সেকশন এ রুম নেম তিস্তা। চেয়ার করবেন ডক্টর প্রণব কৃষ্ণচন্দ্র। সচিন Anchor Sachin and rapporteur also Sachin. First floor. Section B, Torsha, room name Torsha, chair korben Dr. Siddhartha Shankar Laha from NBU. Subhasana Rai. Devanuj, please.
So, very good afternoon to our esteemed guests and participants. I, Devanuj Burman, trainee of Siliguri B.Ed College, I'm going to walk through you today's technical session. This session will be chaired by Associate Professor Dr. Neeta Mitra of Siliguri B.Ed College. Let us begin today's discussion by calling Dr. Devdulal Datta Roy, President of Ravindra Psychotherapy Research Institute, Trust, to present his paper.
Good afternoon. Before starting the session, technical session, I am announcing the name who are participated in this session, and some instruction may be there. As time is very short, we have to maintain within 4 minutes per candidate, and after your participation is over, then you just note who have any questions or any further want to interact with the participants, then you please note it down. After the presentation is over, we will address. Okay? Thank you. So let me Kiran Subha, number 1, Dr. Devdulal Dr. Roy sir, Mrs. Kasturi Datto, Mrs. Chandrakala Bhandari, Miss Deepa Mehta, Dr. Paramita Depali, Dr. Tanushree Sarkar, Mrs. Shantana Singho, Mr. Dipankar Chakraborty, Deepa Singho and Chandana Singho, Aditi Sharma, Purvasha Mujumdar, Shouvik Sarkar, Shumi Khawas, Devanuj Burman and Yanki Lama. First, according to the serial number, I am calling this Devanuj. Previously, Kiran. Devdulal Datta or Kiran, you wait then, huh? Okay, after saying.
And distinguished delegates, I am very much thankful to the organizer of this one-day seminar. The seminar focused on emerging issues, and before my presentation, Professor Rajib Saha has presented you very sad picture of the teacher education, and one asked about the scientific approach. In this connection, maybe my presentation will be useful for you. There are 3 types of learning, or you can tell about the teaching. The first one is the supervised, that is the traditional model. Second one is the unsupervised. That is basically the new model or the modern approach. And that is formulated by Rabindranath. That is, you are coming from this caste, you are coming from this socio-economic status, etc., etc. So, lot of the demographic variables are there. So that is the tagline. And we are trying to do the research like this, whether the academic achievement level is different between the gender or between the tribe, between the urban, rural, etc., etc. So that is basically the supervised model. But when you do not have any tagline, you do not have any demographic, anything, nothing, then how do you analyze the data? For that reason, this is the method. This is called the hierarchical clustering approach. Another approach is the K-means cluster analysis. But this is not the platform for the statistical modeling. I want to focus on this issue, that how the culture that can change our writing motivation. In earlier lecture, you have heard that is the writing, but not performing. Okay. The point is, writing is very important. Why writing is important? Because it can clarify the basic knowledge. Okay. I belong to Indian Statistical Institute as the honorary visiting scientist. Earlier I was the head and associate professor. Now I have my own institute, running the Psychotherapy Research Institute Trust. My area of research is hierarchical clustering in writing motivation of tribal students of primary education in Manipur. I think you know that is the Manipur is the multi-ethnic culture you will find in Manipur. 33 types are there. Okay, and there are 5 tribes. These 5 tribes. Okay, time ho gache. Okay. So this is the culture, this is the script, this is the objective, this is my questionnaire, this is the sample distribution by tribes, and here you can find out that is the tribes are different by the writing motivation. There are 2 types of motivation, one is the intrinsic, another one is the extrinsic. This is the hierarchical clustering of the tribal students in writing motivation. So this is the summary, that is tribal students are well classified into 2 groups, and some suggestion is the formation of writing communities, writing story competition, group discussion based on writing, script analysis, motivating tribal children to depict their cultural heritage by writing, facilitating children to guide writing. Thank you.
Next, I would like to call Mr. Kiran Subha, Assistant Professor of Sri Ramakrishna B.Ed College, Dakshin, to present his paper.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to Neeta Miss and Dev sir and the rest of the participants. I will not waste much maximum time as time is stipulated time has been given. So, change please. So I have divided my contents into 2 parts. Okay, that is first, that has been consisted 4 items from introduction to need of teacher education. From introduction, then definitions, then history, then need, and then next slide please. Next, no, previous, yes, this issues and challenges. The same topic, a few times back, Dr. Rajib Saha had a talk on this. So these are my issues and challenges. I'll select. I'll try to select some of the items due to the shortage of the time. Just will select the rest of the things or issues or challenges that has not been discussed earlier. Next. So first, let's talk about the teachers. The Secondary Education Commission, that's called Mudaliar Commission. That is, the chairman was Dr. Shabi Mudaliar, 1952-53. Was rightly said that we are convinced that most important factor in the contemplated educational reconstruction is the teacher. His personal qualities, his educational qualifications, his professional training, and the place that he occupies in the school as well as in the community. So in the next para, these are simple definitions, lines, so no need to discuss most probably. India being the world's third largest education system is among the largest system of teacher education in the world, next to China and the United States. And a few definitions given by some great personalities or the policy makers. So let's read out. Good Dictionary of Education explains that teacher education means all the formal and non-formal activities and experiences that help to qualify a person to assume responsibilities of a member of the educational profession or to discharge his responsibilities more effectively. Because nowadays it is harsh reality that most of the teachers, even the teachers educators, they are not professionally fit or professionally competent or professionally committed to their teaching profession. And then next one, NCT has defined teacher education as a program of education, research and training of persons to teach from pre-primary to higher education level. So next, history. Let's talk about or glimpses about history of teacher education. The history of teacher education system can be divided into two types. Suppose pre-independent teacher education period and post-independent teacher education period. And then after we can divide or classify the same thing into five types. From ancient to post-independent India. Okay, suppose from 2500 to till NEP 2020. Position in the real classroom knowledge transmission. The teacher educators need special focus to increase the PCK of trainee teachers through the teachers training program, which particularly leads to better effective performance and output. So the effective teachers have to include the extensive pedagogical content knowledge for the desired outcome. Priority in transfer of knowledge are supposed to be the first and foremost objective instead of only transfer of information. Why PCK? Because most of the teacher educators, they have mastery over their subject, but hardly they have mastery over their pedagogical content knowledge. Pedagogy, that ultimately means art and science of teaching or the systematic or smooth proceedings towards teaching learning process that normally we discuss or teach in teacher learning process. So there are so many points and how to complete this. Just let me finish the last point, conclusion. The present scenario of teacher training institutions is seemingly under alarming situation. However, the desired changes can be possible through proper implementation, faculty development, adequate financial help, tech-savvy environment, massive investments and infrastructural setup and engagement of all stakeholders. To provide better and quality education to our future generations, we must have to consider critically the above presented issues and challenges to remove the barriers in teacher education, which will likewise then lead us to the development of our education system as well. So, after this, I have nothing to say. Due to the shortage of time, I failed to present the selected papers. Okay. Thank you so much.
So next, I would like to call Mrs. Kasturi Datta, Assistant Professor of Rajendra Academy for Teachers Education, to present her paper.
you all. শুভ সন্ধ্যা সকলকে। আমি চেষ্টা করছি বাংলাতেই সবটা বলার। শুভ সন্ধ্যা জানাই ডক্টর মিত্র এবং আগত সকলকে। আমার আজকের বিষয় সকলেই আগেও শুনেছেন ডক্টর গোস্বামীর কাছ থেকে। আমি চেষ্টা করেছি ছোট্ট করে আমার মতো করে বলতে। স্লাইডটা প্রেজেন্ট হয়েছে? স্লাইড শো করলেই চলে আসবে। থ্যাংক ইউ। So, technology used as a tool can serve a means to seek, process information and reflect one's understanding, beliefs and thinking ability. আমরা সকলেই জানি টেকনোলজি কি। তো রোল অফ টেকনোলজিস ইন নিউ নর্মাল সিচুয়েশন, আমাদের এডুকেশনের নিউ নর্মাল সিচুয়েশনে টেকনোলজি কীভাবে ইউজ হচ্ছে সেটা আমরা যদি দেখি, আমরা দেখতে পাবো টাইপস অফ টেকনোলজি। যদি মেইনলি দেখতে চাই যে এডুকেশনের ক্ষেত্রে কতগুলো টেকনোলজির মেন দিক আমরা ইউজ করে থাকি, সেটা হচ্ছে ই লার্নিং, যেটা আমাদের খুব বেশি করে ইউজ হচ্ছে নিউ নর্মাল সেশনে, আইসিটি এবং মাল্টিমিডিয়া লার্নিং, TEL, আমি চেষ্টা করবো ছোটো ছোটো করে সবগুলোরই বলে দেওয়ার, কম্পিউটার বেসড ইনস্ট্রাকশন ইত্যাদি। তো ই লার্নিং বলতে আমরা কি বুঝি? ই লার্নিং ইজ এ টাইপ অফ লার্নিং কন্ডাক্টিং digitally via electronic media, typically involving the ইন্টারনেটের মাধ্যমে, যেগুলো আমরা কম্পিউটার, ল্যাপটপ, ট্যাবলেট, স্মার্টফোন যেগুলো আমাদের সকলেরই থাকে, সেগুলোর মাধ্যমে যে আমাদের ই লার্নিংটা চলছে সেটা কী কীভাবে আসছে? ইনফরমেশন এবং কমিউনিকেশন টেকনোলজি থ্রু ICT যেটা আমরা বলছি, সেটা কী করছে? যে ইমপ্রুভড লার্নিং এফিসিয়েন্সি, লেখাগুলো একটু ছোটো, একটু কষ্ট করে করতে হবে, রিডিউস দ্য বার্ডেন অন টিচার্স, অনেকটাই মানে সুবিধা হয়ে গেছে বলতে পারা যায়, এবং বাকি সো অন আমাদের সুবিধাগুলো। মাল্টিমিডিয়া লার্নিংয়ের ক্ষেত্রে কী হচ্ছে? মাল্টিমিডিয়া লার্নিং মিনস লার্নিং থ্রু দ্য ইউজ অফ পিকচার্স অ্যান্ড ওয়ার্ডস। The teacher can engage and motivate students to participate in classroom activities, as the use of multimedia in teaching learning makes it more interesting and interactive. তো আমরা ইমেল, ভিডিও কনফারেন্সিং, MMS এবং এই যে আমরা পাওয়ার পয়েন্ট দেখছি সেটাও আমাদের মাল্টিমিডিয়া লার্নিংয়ের মধ্যেই পড়ছে। এরপর আমরা দেখতে পাবো TEL বা টেকনোলজি এনহ্যান্সড লার্নিং, যেটা টেকনোলজি এনহ্যান্সড লার্নিং ইজ দ্য ইমপ্লিমেন্টেশন অফ টেকনোলজি ইনটু টিচিং মেথডস টু এনহ্যান্স দ্য লার্নিং প্রসেস। Digital TEL is taking over education in the form of different types of educational software. অনেক সফটওয়্যার যেগুলো আমাদের কাজে লাগছে নিউ নর্মাল সিচুয়েশনে, যেমন গুগল মিট, জুম, ইভেন আমাদের যে প্যারালাল সেশন আরেকটা অনলাইনে চলছে সেটাও আমাদের টেকনোলজিক্যাল এনহ্যান্স লার্নিংয়ের মধ্যেই পড়ছে। তারপর আসছে কম্পিউটার বেসড ইনস্ট্রাকশন। কম্পিউটার বেসড ইনস্ট্রাকশন ইজ অ্যান ইনস্ট্রাকশনাল প্যারাডিজম which uses computer technology to deliver training or educational materials to us. It is a teaching approach that integrates computer software programs with other teaching materials in the classroom. ক্লাসরুমে আমরা কীভাবে সেটাকে এনহ্যান্স করছি। এবার রোল অফ নিউ নর্মাল সিচুয়েশনে আমাদের টেকনোলজি কীভাবে কী করতে পারছে, তো সেটা আমরা সকলেই জানি যে যে সফটওয়্যারগুলো আমরা ইউজ করে থাকি আফটার দ্য COVID-19 সিচুয়েশন, গুগল মিট, জুম, ব্ল্যাকবোর্ড, ওয়েবেক্স, গ্রেড লিঙ্ক, স্কুলজি এটসেট্রা, এগুলো আমাদের ভীষণভাবে হেল্প করেছে, এখনও করছে। উইথ দ্য সার্টেন আনএক্সপেক্টেড অ্যারাইভাল অফ নিউ টিচিং এনভায়রনমেন্ট, টিচার্স হ্যাভ টার্নড ইনটু স্টুডেন্টস। আমরা সকলেই টিচার, আর যারা ট্রেনিং আছে তারা উঠবি টিচার। তো সকলেই আমরা টিচার হলেও যারা ভালো টিচার তারা অবশ্যই ভালো স্টুডেন্টও বটে। সেই কারণে আমাদের সব কিছুর সাথেই কোপ আপ করতেও হবে এবং অ্যাডজাস্ট করতে হবে। সেজন্য আমরা স্মার্ট ক্লাসের সাথেও অ্যাডজাস্ট করেছি, এবং কিছু কিছু ড্রব্যাকস তো থাকবেই অবশ্যই। ফাস্টার অবশ্যই, কিন্তু লেস মেমোরেবল লার্নিং, যেটা আমাদের হয়তো একবার চোখে দেখে আমরা দেখে নিতে পারছি কিন্তু মেমোরাইজ করতে আমাদের কষ্ট হয়। টেকনোলজি ক্যান বি ডিস্ট্রাক্টিং, লেস ডিরেক্ট সোশ্যাল ইন্টারাকশন, ইনসাফিসিয়েন্ট টিচিং মেথডস, মিসগাইডিং ইনফরমেশন অনেক সময় হয়, প্লাস চিটিংয়ের একটা অপশান থেকেই যায়। এবং সবশেষে বলতে পারি, টু কিপ উইথ দ্য র্যাপিডলি চেঞ্জিং টাইম, এডুকেটার্স নিড টু নট টু সিম্পলিফাই, simply adjust the new normal, but feel as comfortable and confident in the teach world that there is digital native students. Students may feel at home in the brave new world, but they still need teachers to help guide from through it. Okay, thank you.
Next, I would like to call Chandrakala Bhandari, PhD scholar of B.A.E.U. Ahmedabad, to present the paper.
Good afternoon, one and all. With the permission of our committee member, I would like to start my presentation. So before that, I would like to introduce myself. Myself, Chandrakala Bhandari. Actually, basically I am from Sikkim, but I am pursuing my PhD from B.A.E.U. Ahmedabad. So I am representing my university. Today's my topic is equality and inclusiveness in Indian education and culture. So the content is there's the abstract introduction on emerging trends and of equitable and inclusiveness with impact on Indian education and culture. Nature of cultural and social change to inclusion and equitable education. The current inclusive education finding and conclusions. This is actually we got only few few days to do the to submit this paper. So it just I took this all content from Google and other references books. So I just discuss only a few highlighted till that what the there is a so many educational journey or transaction from ancient to present education system. So all those things are mentioned here, but time is very limited. So I just want to talk about Indian education policies. There's new Indian education policies which have brought so many blanket of policies, we can say. Some policies are there in Indian this NEP 2020 which bring more inclusiveness in education systems. So it's highlighted our differently able students and transgenders also. Cultural perspectives also are there. So new education, what I realized from this study is that new education policies is the best equitable and inclusiveness in education and culture. In our past history, we can see that there is some exclusiveness, there is a segregation is there is some discriminations was there. In culture, like we can say cultural discrimination was also there. The casteism, all kind of discriminations we can see in our past life. But after so many policies and new education system, we can see that there is some changes we can see in our society, like inclusiveness is there in all areas like infrastructures and like social, cultural, in all areas, in all sectors. Some inclusiveness is coming day by day, gradually is changing. There are various initiatives like swim, NS, and all those photos we can access this thing in our Google also. The current trends in equitable and inclusive education. We can say, okay. The conclusion is I just conclude my paper on this National Education Policies 2020, how National Education Policies is giving positive impact in our societies and in our education systems. And this is the impact which we can see. Thank you so much.
Dr. Paramita Dev Palit. Okay, she's also not here.
Mohammad Hanif.
Paramita Devpali.
Just call Mohammad Hanif.
Okay.
No.
Is Mohammad Hanif here? Okay. Okay. So now I would like to call Mohammad Hanif to present on behalf of Dr. Paramita Dev, Trinity B.Ed College, Millanpur. After Mohammad Hanif, next candidate will be Dr. Tanushree Sarkar. Okay. Dr. Tanushree Sarkar, please present your paper.
Very good evening to all of you present here. I'm Dr. Tanushree from SRM University, Sikkim, and my topic is Multiculturalism is the spice box of Indian English literature. So we can quote Mahatma Gandhi that no culture can live if it attempts to be exclusive. So within this quotation we can understand that yes, culture is inclusive, and as we all know that Indian culture is an inclusive culture, and if we focus on Indian English literature, then we can understand that Indian English literature is also an inclusive one. So we can connect literature and education very well. Here you can see literature adds to reality. It doesn't simply describe it, it enriches the necessary competencies that daily life requires and provides. And in this respect, it irrigates the deserts that our lives have already become. So literature are the desert of our life, we all know that. So my objectives of study are to find out the different cultural traditions and taboos of 3 parts of India. I have selected 3 parts of India: Assam, Odisha and Mizoram, throwing light upon Indian English literature. And the second objective is to explore education through literature, and the last one is to discover the interrelationship between multiculturalism and literature. So this methodology I have selected. I have taken 3 texts. The first one is a short story written by one Assamese woman, very famous writer, Indira Goswami, and this is a translation study, Under the Shadow of Kamakhya. And the second one is a poem written by Jayanta Mahapatra, well-known poet, and the poem is Hunger. And the third one is Mona Jyote's poem, An Impression of Being Alive, which is depicting the story of Mizoram. And I used textual analysis for this research work. So in my theoretical structure, I used the salad bowl theory. As what we know that people with different from various parts of India also convey the similar ideas. So this is the first one, Under the Shadow of Kamakhya. So I'm trying to brief it. So kaleidoscope anthropic description of Assam we got. Okay, I'm directly going to the line. The sound of drums and cymbals floated down from the temple. Preparations are probably being made for the sacrifice of the buffalo. Now the people must be pouring bucket after bucket of water over the buffalo's neck. So we can see the taboos. We all know about Kamakhya temple, we know the taboos. So here in this story, Padmapriya was the main protagonist. We saw the silent revolt. And my next poem, that is hunger, sex, sexuality, poverty, prostitution, the realistic view of society we saw here. And the setting is, Mahabharata himself says, the poem is based on the true incident. It could easily have happened to me on the poverty-ridden sands of Gopalpur on sea beach. The landscape of Gopalpur, we all know it is in Odisha. And the next one, I'm not going to in detail of it. This is Mona Jote, a very famous poet from Mizoram, Northeast writer. So here also, all day we have watched the streets shift and carry shed skin, refill, crest and yaw, corrected our taste for oranges, packed by other hands from other places, bought tokens of summer and the coming happiness we paused at the Korean romances, a tale of a prince. So here we can see the story of Mizoram. So my finding of the study is multiculturalism in English literature enriches global education. Various literary texts help to inculcate and preserve culture and tradition through aesthetic cultural study, which is part of education. And lastly, I want to quote, we can destroy what we have written, but we cannot unwrite it. So literature is really required and needed for the society, for our education. Thank you so much.
Okay, so next I would like to call Mrs. Santana Singha. Mohammed Hanif. Okay, so Mohammed Hanif, I would like to call you to present your paper.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Nita ma'am and all teacher trainee, research scholars, Assalamu alaikum and namaskar. I am the Hanif, faculty of Geography, TGT B.Ed College, Siliguri. My seminar topic is the role of education in promoting culture and values in society. So it's a very important topic, education promoting culture and values. Education and value-based living for truly sustainable development of our society and to bring a desirable change in society in the present context. We have to focus equipment to adapt the change and cultural patterns and cultural values in life. And next, introduction. India, a unique position of the global stage. It's a cultural advancement, civilization values, and diverse.
So we have to give focus on objectives in methodology and after that conclusion and findings.
Okay, ma'am. Curriculum would ensure that our students' education is a relatively relevant and effective. It also leads to a strong sense of identity, as the younger generation will be well versed in India's rich culture and heritage, and will be able to take a pride, and also the children's intellectual, physical, mental and spiritual and social abilities, that is the indicators of the development. And next one is, what is culture? So culture is a very important in our society. Culture, that is the including of knowledge, belief, art, moral, laws and customs, and any other capabilities and habits are acquired by man as a member of society. So this is one, the will of the culture. So it's a very important thing in our India. So that is our culture is a multicultural and multilingual system in our society. Next one, the values. So values is a guide or motivated attributes or action in our society. So that is, we are health. Okay, so that is the moral values and ideological and social values and aesthetic values and values and ethics. So values and ethics is a very important to fairness, respect, integrity, honesty. And objectives of this paper is study the importance of value-based education for truly sustainable development of our society. Number 2, to study the importance of culture-based education in the society. Number 3, to know how education is a transformation of culture and preservation of culture. Next on methodology, and next is the importance of value in education. So it's a very important, it's a curriculum, professional development of teacher and teacher educators, and development of democratic qualities and sublimation of instinct and resolving conflicts and cooperative living and maintaining harmony. And importance of culture-based education. So it's a very truly think that the culture teaches values, belief and tradition, and also influence the social interaction with the parents, siblings, kids and teachers. We are also respects our parents and teachers, and also influence their language and communication. And next one, impact of education, our culture. So education connects people to their culture, preservation of culture, transmission of culture and development and personality. And I conclude that the education should transmit the culture to the new generation and transform the outlook of the young towards life in the light of the past. In the context of cross-cultural influence and the light of the future requirements of the individual and the society. So in this setting, it's a very well, maybe effortfully and present the value education and cultural based education impact all parts. So all of you respect your parents and teachers and our society. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next, I would like to call Mrs. Santana Singha from Municipal College to present her paper.
Good evening everyone, I am Sanchari and I am a student of Municipal College. The title of my research paper is Equitable Access to Education in the Digital Age and Grassroots Level Challenge for Implementation of National Education Policy 2020. আমরা সকলে জানি যে ন্যাশনাল এডুকেশন পলিসি 2020 পাবলিশ হয়েছে এবং এখানে সকলের জন্য সমান এডুকেশন শিক্ষা ব্যবস্থা বলা হয়েছে এবং শিক্ষার টেকনোলজিকে বেশি গুরুত্ব দেওয়া হয়েছে। তো এই শিক্ষার টেকনোলজির ব্যবহার একটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ পদক্ষেপ যেটা আমাদের এডুকেশনের কোয়ালিটিকে ইমপ্রুভ করবে। দেন আমরা সকলে দেখেছি যে কোভিডের সময় শিক্ষা ব্যবস্থাকে কীভাবে অফলাইন থেকে অনলাইনে নিয়ে যাওয়া হলো এবং আমাদের টেকনোলজির কতই সমস্যা হলো। তো এই টেকনোলজির সমস্যাগুলিকে আমরা যতক্ষণ না সমাধান করব ততক্ষণ আমরা কিন্তু এই শিক্ষার টেকনোলজিকে সফলভাবে বাস্তবায়ন করতে পারবো না। তো আমার রিসার্চের মেইন উদ্দেশ্যই হলো যে এই শিক্ষার টেকনোলজিকে সফলভাবে বাস্তবায়ন করার পক্ষে টেকনোলজির যে সমস্তগুলো প্রবলেম রয়েছে সেগুলিকে আইডেন্টিফাই করা অ্যান্ড আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং করা। অ্যান্ড আমি আমার রিসার্চে যে সকল সমস্যাগুলি খুঁজে পাই সেগুলো হলো প্রবলেম নাম্বার 1, ডিজিটাল ডিভাইড ইন ইন্ডিয়া। তো আমাদের ভারতের হচ্ছে বেশিরভাগ গরিবের স্টুডেন্ট মানে গরিব পরিবারের ছাত্ররা তাদের লোয়ার ইনকাম ফ্যামিলির কারণে তারা অনলাইন এডুকেশনের সাপোর্ট পাচ্ছে না। ফলে এই ধনী মধ্যবিত্ত এবং নিম্নবিত্ত পরিবারের মধ্যে লার্নিং গ্যাপ তৈরি হয়। Just 4.4 of rural family and 23.4 of urban household on computer. Internet access availability to only 14.9% of rural home and 42% of urban home. Problem number 2, gap on the digital literacy. According to my research, 30% Indian population lack basic digital literacy. Only 20.1% of people and 5 and up were digital literacy in 2017 to 18. Problem number 3, availability of smartphones or other digital devices. According to my research, between 40 to 70% school students do not have any digital device. 60% students did not have access to online education during pandemic. Only 22% government school and government school students and 71% private school students had access to online learning. Problem number 3, availability of digital trained instructor. Difficult for teachers due to lack of skill, infrastructure, support and motivation. Problem number 5, internet speed. আমার গবেষণায় দেখা গেছে যে ভারতের 66% of school India lack basic internet access. Internet access is unavailable in 80 to 85 of school in UP, MP, Manipur, West Bengal, Meghalaya, Odisha, Tripura, Jammu and Kashmir. Then my point is policymakers and educators need to overcome this problem, and it provides a recommended to successfully implementation of technology in education, and then for equal education provide for all. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Next, I would like to call Mr. Dipankar Chakraborty, PhD teacher Geography of University of North Bengal, to present his paper. Mr. Dipankar Chakraborty. Okay.
A very good evening to everyone. Myself Dipankar Chakraborty. Currently I am a PhD teacher in Hon'ble Public School, Bengal. As a research scholar, I am doing also PhD in University of North Bengal under the guidance of Dr. Indira Lecture. So our research topic, which is entitled as a study on demographic attributes and its impact on mean year of schooling. Mean year of schooling is one of the significant parameters which is used in Human Development Report in order to find out the educational attainment of any country. So it is very important parameter or variable which can be used in order to find out in local level, in regional level or in national level. So what is mean year of schooling? Mean year of schooling is referred as an average number of years of education received by people ages 25 and older. And it is also very important because it helps us understand the cross-country comparisons. So my research work has two objectives. The first one is to find out the variation of mean year of schooling between Christian and Muslim countries in the world, and to explain the interrelationships between mean year of schooling and demographic attributes in the world. So the database and methodology for first objective, 30 Christian and Muslim dominated countries were selected through random sampling method, and the data was obtained from World Population Review Data 2023 in order to measure the significant variation of mean year of schooling. Mann-Whitney U test, which is a non-parametric test, because the data was not following the normal probability distribution, so Mann-Whitney U test has been used. For second objective, 35 countries were selected through random sampling method from HDR report 2022, and for this thing, in order to find out the impact of the demographic attributes, 11 different variables have been selected. So these 11 variables are population size, infant mortality rate, PFR, adolescent birth rate, life expectancy, etc. And data were obtained from Human Development Report and World Population Data Set 2022. So the findings of the first objective that we can see, the significant value which is showing asymptomatic significant value is 0.000. It means the alpha value is 0.05. So it shows that there is a very significant variation of mean year of schooling in the Christian countries and in Muslim countries in the world. This is the findings of the second objective. So So here we can see the correlation table where we can see the impact of demographic attributes on mean year of schooling. Here you will see that out of 11 demographic attributes, except population size and physiological density, they don't have any sort of impact on mean year of schooling. Apart from these two variables, IMR, DFL, life expectancy, GNI per capita, dependency ratio, these are the variables which have very significant impact on mean year of schooling. So here we have calculated multiple regression model, and out here we can see the two main factors which have come up. One is infant mortality rate, another is GNI per capita PPP. So these two factors are having great amount of impact on mean year of schooling. So lastly, we can say that demographic attributes really play a very important role in determining the level of mean year of schooling, and mean year of schooling is one of the significant parameters which can be used to measure the cross-country variation. And if we come to the cross-country variation in terms of religion also plays very important role in determining the level of education. So that's all. Thank you for.
Next, I would like to call Ms. Deepa Singha, trainee of Siliguri B.Ed College.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Welcome you all. My name is Deepa Singha. I am second semester student of this institution. Today, I will discuss about the topic, a study on present primary educational status of Bandargarh slum area. So first introduction. We all know that children are God's inheritance. They are the main pillar of our society. In this case, primary education plays the role of the mother to improve the education, to develop our society. According to Aristotle, education is the process of training to man to fulfill his aim by exercising all the faculties to the fullest extent as a member of society. Education helps us to learn many skills and techniques. It also helps us to gain knowledge, improve our educational quality, and also so on. Primary education is starting at about 5 to 7 and ending at about age 11 to 13. My study area name is Bandargarh slum area, which is situated in Panchhidawa block. Next is background of the study area. Bandargarh slum area is located in Panchhidawa subdivision, Darjeeling district. It is well known for its fisherman's area. The popular nickname of this area is Machopoti. In this area, around 83% of people are engaged in the business of fish. Next is objective of the study. The main objective of the study are to know the primary educational conditions of the children, to find out the real causes behind the situation, to know how many people are aware about this primary education, and to identify some suggestions for better improvement of this primary education. Next is methodology. In this survey, in this study, I use the survey method. As the total population of the Bandargarh slum area is near about 750, so it's a little bit difficult for me to take the all data. Here, random sampling technique has been used and graphical representation and central tendency has been used. Next is major findings. After analyzing that data, it can be said that the present primary educational condition of Bandargarh slum area is not very good or acceptable. If we focus on the causes, we can see that most of the children are dropped out from schools. As most of the children drop out from the schools because we can see that parents are all working in the fish area, so they can't take care of their children. So children. So, recommendations. First is awareness, providing inclusion. So at the end of this discussion, it can be said that it is not easy to live in a slum area. It is really difficult to live a healthy life by constantly fighting with thousands of problems in slum area. So until only the slum area problem we can't solve, the overall development of the education, like primary education, is not possible. So first of all, we need to identify the real causes behind the situation and try to solve this. So thank you so much for listening. These are the references. Thank you.
Next, I would like to call Aditi Sharma, trainee of Siliguri B.Ed College, to present a paper.
Good evening, everyone. I am presenting on the topic Relevance of Vedic Indian Education System in light of National Professional Standards for Teachers (NPST) in India with regards to teachers' roles. Here I have given a short introduction. The roles of teachers have kept changing with the continuous progress we make in the educational arena. India has a rich history of teaching and learning system like the ancient Vedic education system. With the introduction of the new National Education Policy 2020, various changes have been brought about in the roles of teachers through the NPST. This study tries to find similarities between those roles with respect to the Vedic Indian education system. The objective of the study is to list down the main features of NPST and the Vedic Indian education system, and to establish a connection or relevance among the roles of the teachers laid down in both areas. Methodology. The methods used is the historical research by analyzing some ancient history textbooks, and documentary analysis by analyzing the NPST document. The source of data are both primary and secondary data. These are some main features of the National Professional Standards for Teachers. Its main aim is to administer the teaching profession throughout the nation. The areas and standards, core values and ethics, professional knowledge and understanding, professional competence and practice, and professional development and growth. The teachers' roles are to be covered in these 4 domains. Here I have presented some important features of the Vedic education system, like high respect for teachers, oral teaching, Gurukul system, holistic development, no state control, memory retention learning technique or manana, multidisciplinary approach, and cordial teacher-student relationship. Moving on to the main theme, in the domain of core values and ethics, the NPST wants the teachers to work with integrity and honesty, reflect their ethical values in students, and facilitate the well-being and safety of the students. In the Vedic age, the teachers were held in proximity to gods. They were the spiritual and intellectual father of the students. They led a cultural life. The student and teacher had a father-son-like relationship, and since Gurukul system was prevalent, the teachers kept a close eye on students and advised them on their daily activities. In the domain of professional knowledge and understanding, the NPST wants teachers to have in-depth understanding of the subject and prepare lessons according to individual differences of the students. In the Vedic age, teachers were well versed in their knowledge domains, and since learning was oral in nature, they were required to pronounce the Vedic mantras correctly and precisely. And they trained students in accordance with their abilities and according to the kalas and vidyas. In the domain of professional competence and practice, the NPST wants teachers to develop verbal and non-verbal teaching techniques, develop higher order thinking skills in students, and develop various assessment tools and techniques. In the Vedic age, as I told you earlier, oral teaching was prevalent, and along with that, exercises, games, yoga, archery, debates were also practiced. There was emphasis on manana or memory retention technique since learning was entirely oral. The Tarka Shastra or debates as method of assessment was used. In the field of professional development and growth, the NPST wants teachers to involve in self-development activities, and in the Vedic age, the teachers continued learning throughout their life. In conclusion, I have found that the principles and the practices of Vedic Indian education system is still relevant while introducing new educational policies in the nation. Some ancient teacher roles still remain the backbone of the education system, and those elements from the past must be incorporated which are in tune with the present times. Due to the commercialization of the educational institutions, teaching profession has lost its integrity, hence getting inspired by our ancient culture and roots might prove fruitful. Thank you.
Next, I would like to call Purvasha Majumdar, trainee of Siliguri B.Ed College, to present a paper.
Good evening everyone. আমার নাম পূর্বাশা মজুমদার। তো আমার টপিক হলো The effect of female literacy on maternal and infant mortality rate, discussion on Darjeeling district. ম্যামের সহযোগিতায় ডক্টর নীতা মিত্র ম্যাম এর সহযোগিতায় আমি আমার কাজটা সম্পূর্ণ করতে পেরেছি। সবার প্রথমে যেটা রয়েছে সেটা হলো MMR and IMR. What is the full form of MMR? MMR means maternal mortality rate and IMR means infant mortality rate. স্বাধীনতার সময় থেকে আমরা যদি একটু ভালো করে দেখি তাহলে দেখতে পাবো যে দার্জিলিং ডিস্ট্রিক্ট কোথাও গিয়ে তো আমাদের ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গলের পার্ট এবং ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল আমাদের ইন্ডিয়ার পার্ট। তো স্বাধীনতা যুগ থেকে শুরু করে এবং পরবর্তী যুগ যদি আমরা একটু নোটিস করি তাহলে দেখতে পাবো যে সেখানকার যে মরণশীলতা সেটা যথেষ্ট বেশি ছিল। সেটা ম্যাটারনাল মর্টালিটি রেটই বলা যাক বা সেটা ইনফ্যান্ট মর্টালিটি রেটই বলা যাক। তো কোথাও গিয়ে আমার মনে হয়েছে যে এডুকেশন হচ্ছে এমন একটি ওয়েপন বা এমন একটি অস্ত্র যেটাকে আমরা হাতিয়ার করে কোথাও গিয়ে আমরা এই মরণশীলতাকে নিয়ন্ত্রণে আনতে পারি। তো আমার রিসার্চ পেপারটার কাজটাই হলো এই। নেক্সট আসছি আমি অবজেক্টিভে আমি যেটা ফলো করতে চাইছি যে নারীর স্বাস্থ্য এবং শিক্ষা দুটোই বৃদ্ধি করা প্রয়োজন কোথাও গিয়ে। নারী শিক্ষা ও স্বাস্থ্যের মেলবন্ধন ঘটলে কোথাও গিয়ে শিক্ষার আলোতে এই মরণশীলতা নিয়ন্ত্রণ করা সম্ভবপর এবং শিক্ষা বৃদ্ধি হলে কোথাও ইনফ্যান্ট মর্টালিটি রেটটাও নিয়ন্ত্রণে আসে। বেশ কিছু মরণশীলতার পরিমাপ রয়েছে, তার মধ্যে আজ এখানে যেটা আলোচনার বিষয়বস্তু সেটা হলো MMR এবং IMR। তো MMR বলতে এখানে বোঝানো হয়েছে The maternal death rate is defined the death of a woman while pregnant or within 42 days. And the infant mortality rate means infant mortality rate is the death of young children under the age of 1. This death near above the measure by the infant mortality rate, which is the probability that dead children under 1 year of age per 1,000 live births. Causes of maternal and infant mortality rate. Seek abortion services and some progeny related deaths. And next, infant mortality rate causes maternal progeny complication and sudden infant death syndrome. Next, education is a weapon to reduce maternal and infant mortality rate because of the society. Our society is some বলা যেতে পারে যে সব অর্থোডক্স কিছু মেন্টালিটির জন্য কোথাও গিয়ে বিষয়বস্তুটা কিছুটা নিয়ন্ত্রণে আসে না এবং নারী শিক্ষার বিস্তারগ্রস্ত করলে কোথাও গিয়ে সেটা নিয়ন্ত্রণে আনা সম্ভব হয়। তো আমি ন্যাচারাল হেলথ সিস্টেম রিসোর্স সেন্টার 2013 ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গলের ডেটা এখানটায় প্রডিউস করছি। তো কজ অফ ম্যাটারনাল ডেথ ইন দার্জিলিং ডিস্ট্রিক্ট। Next, infant mortality rate in Darjeeling district. After conclusion, শিক্ষার বিস্তারটা খুব দরকার এবং নারী উন্নয়ন এবং স্বাস্থ্য উন্নয়নের জন্য। Thank you.
Next, I would like to call Soumik Sarkar, trainee of Siliguri B.Ed College, to present this paper.
সকলকে শুভ সন্ধ্যা। ম্যাডামকে আমার প্রণাম জানিয়ে আমার পেপারটা আমি সবার সামনে তুলে ধরতে যাচ্ছি। বর্তমানে আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি ঘন ঘন খুব কালবৈশাখী হচ্ছে, মানে কালবৈশাখী সেই রূপে মেঘের বাদ্যযন্ত্র বাজছে, তার সাথে সাথে বৃষ্টি নুপুরের তাল ছন্দ এবং প্রকৃতির সেই প্রলয় নৃত্য আমাদের সকলকে কি করছে মনোমুগ্ধকারী। একটু বৃষ্টি হলে আমরা প্রত্যেকে ভাবি বা খুব আরাম হচ্ছে। তো এই নৃত্য নাচ থেকে কি করে আনন্দ পাওয়া যায় এবং সেই আনন্দ কি করে শিক্ষা ব্যবস্থাতে যদি আমরা ইনক্লুড করতে পারি তাহলে কি ধরনের আউটপুট পাবো বা শিক্ষার্থীদের কি করে স্কুলে নিয়ে আসতে পারবো তার উপর আমাদের পেপার লেখা। পেপারটির নাম রিভাইটালাইজিং এডুকেশন অ্যান্ড থ্রু ট্রাইবাল ফোক ডান্স উইথ রেফারেন্স ইন ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল। Introduction. Education is an essential tool for growth and development of the society. Education এমন একটা জিনিস যেটা একটা সোসাইটির গ্রোথ অ্যান্ড ডেভেলপমেন্টের উপর নির্ভর করে। আমার শুধু এই কাজটা পুরোটাই কাজ রয়েছে শুধুমাত্র ফর্মাল এডুকেশনের উপর নয়, ইনফর্মাল এডুকেশনের ক্ষেত্রে। আমার অবজেক্টিভ কি করে এই নাচগুলোকে, ফোক নাচগুলোকে যদি আমরা স্কুল কলেজে করাতে পারি স্টুডেন্টদেরকে, তাহলে কি করে এই স্টুডেন্টগুলোর মধ্যে বিশেষ অ্যাক্টিভিটি এবং মোটিভেটেড হতে পারবে তারা, তার উপর। এখানে আমি যে মেথোডোলজি ইউজ করেছি এটা একটা কোয়ালিটেটিভ পেপার। তো মেথোডোলজি কিউজিআই সফটওয়্যার ইউজ করেছি ম্যাপের জন্য এবং ওই থেকে নিয়েছি কিছু ডকুমেন্ট। আচ্ছা, এখানে ডিফারেন্ট টাইপস অফ ফোক ডান্স ইন ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গলের একটা চার্ট দিয়েছি, যেখানে 10টা নাচ নিয়েছি আমি। প্রথম সান্তালি, ছৌ, ঝুমুর, টুসু, ভাওয়াইয়া, গৌনি, রায়বেন্সি, গম্ভীরা, কীর্তন অ্যান্ড বাউল, এবং তার পাশে ডিস্ট্রিক্টগুলোকে দেওয়া হয়েছে। এই ম্যাপটাতে দেখানো হচ্ছে এই ম্যাপের কোথায় কোথায় কোন ডিস্ট্রিক্টে কোন নাচগুলো বেশি করা হচ্ছে, আঞ্চলিক নৃত্যগুলো। এবং এখানে 4টে ছবি দিয়েছি, 4টে ছবিতে 2টো ছবি ফর্মাল এডুকেশনের, 2টো ছবি ইনফর্মাল এডুকেশনের ক্ষেত্রে। যেরকম প্রথম ছবিতে শিলিগুড়ি B.Ed কলেজের ছবি, এখানে B.Ed ট্রেনিরা নাচ করছে এবং তার অপোজিটে যারা লার্নার বসে আছে সেখান থেকে ফোক নৃত্য কী নাচ করছে, কী ধরনের নৃত্য, কী ধরনের ডান্স ফর্মগুলো সেগুলো শিখতে পারছে। এবং দ্বিতীয় ছবিতে শিলিগুড়ি B.Ed কলেজের মাঠেই হয়েছে, তৃতীয় 2টো ছবি নেওয়া হয়েছে, যেখানে চড়ক পূজার ছবি আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি। এটা স্ট্রিটে হয়ে থাকে, সাধারণত আমরা সেখান থেকে শিখে থাকি কী ধরনের ফোক নৃত্য থেকে কী ধরনের মাইথোলজিক্যাল বেস, ইনস্ট্রুমেন্টাল ইউজ, এই সমস্ত কিছু শিখতে পারি। ওকে, এটা কি করে হেল্প করবে স্টুডেন্টদের, যে ফর্মাল ইনফর্মালের ক্ষেত্রে স্টুডেন্টদের মোটিভেটেড হওয়ার জন্য? প্রথমত এনরিচিং কাইনেস্থেটিক ভ্যালু, তাদের ভেতর কাইনেস্থেটিক ভ্যালু বাড়বে। দ্বিতীয়ত কগনিটিভ ডেভেলপমেন্ট করবে। ডিসিমিনেশন অফ নলেজটা আমি একটু বলবো। ডিসিমিনেশন অফ নলেজ বলতে সাপোজ আমাদের প্রত্যেকের বাড়িতে কিছু কিছু গ্র্যান্ডফাদার, প্যারেন্টসরা রয়েছে যারা ফর্মাল ইনফর্মাল এডুকেশন মানে কোনোদিনও ফর্মাল এডুকেশন আসেনি, কিন্তু তাদের কাছ থেকে আমরা কি করে এডুকেশনটা পাই? যেরকম সাপোজ ধরে নিচ্ছি ভাগবতে যাচ্ছে, কীর্তনগুলোকে ইমপ্লিমেন্ট করা যায়, তাহলে হয়তো স্কুল এডুকেশন এবং এডুকেশনের প্রতি লার্নারদের আরও বেশি ঝুঁকি বাড়তে পারে। থ্যাংক ইউ।
Next, I would like to call Susmita, trainee of Siliguri B.Ed College.
A very good evening to one and all present. Myself Susmita, a student of 4th semester B.Ed training Siliguri B.Ed College, and I am here to present my paper on the topic enrollment pattern in government aided schools compared to private school, a case study. Education is a process through which the overall development of an individual is achieved. It is a significant factor for attaining full human potential, developing an equitable society and promoting national development. For this purpose, the Indian Constitution has ensured right to free and compulsory education and has made education as a basic fundamental right. The Government of India has initiated many programs and policies to bring change in the education system, yet it remains elusive. Enrollment, it is a major factor from which we come to know how much the parents are aware about the education and enroll their child to a school, and how much the initiative of RTE is being achieved. So the study has been taken in this area, the Sitong 3 Gram Panchayat, under Kursham block, Darjeeling district, West Bengal. The objectives of the study are as follows: to examine the variation in the enrollment pattern of students in the government-aided school and the private school, to analyze the probable cause that leads to the variation, and to suggest the measures. The first objective is being supported by a null hypothesis, that is, there is no year-wise variation, significant variation in the enrollment pattern of students in the government-aided schools and private schools. Moving on on to the methodology, it is a descriptive type of survey. The source of data is the primary source, which comprises of the use of office documents, unstructured interview with the help of a questionnaire, and the rest are the findings of the study. For the inferential statistics, the chi-square test, it is a non-parametric test was being used. The method of sampling is the purposive sampling, and 2 government-aided schools and the 2 private schools of the area has been taken into study. Data analysis, you can see here in the table that the total number of students enrolled in the private government-aided school and private school from the year 2019 to 2023, it shows that the enrollment in the government-aided school has declined from 45 to 24 in number, and the private schools they have rise in the number due to the high quality education. The inferential statistics, the chi-square test proves that the null hypothesis that is being given is being rejected and the alternative hypothesis is accepted. Moving on to the next slide, the table here shows that the responses from the teachers regarding various aspects like discipline, punctuality, parents-teacher meeting, the new methods of teaching, medium of instructions in the government-aided school and the private school is very much different. The monthly income of the family here is less than 10,000 and more than 10,000. The findings of the study are as such. The probable cause for the variations of the study are like the mentality of people and their attitude towards the school. The people have a positive attitude towards the private school, whereas they have a neutral and a negative attitudes towards the government-aided school. Lack of infrastructure, quality education. When we come here to the quality, the teachers in both the schools are highly qualified, but the carelessness and the absenteeism that we find in the government-aided school has deteriorated the quality of education, and the parents who enroll their child to the government-aided school, they also contribute in deteriorating this quality. Lack of strict administration. Here the administration head from the higher level to the grassroots level is very not strict. This has led to negligence from all the corners. Here are the recommendations for this.
Next, I would like to call Yanki Lama, trainee of Siliguri B.Ed College, to present her paper.
Good evening, one and all. Today, I, Yanki Lama, am here to present on the topic Women at Threshold, a paradigm of women education, society and culture. So, women's position in a society is subject to constant changes. It varies from society to society, from culture to culture, and from time to time. However, women playing the secondary role to men is universal. The movement for improving the status of women all over the world has always emphasized women education as the most important instrument for changing women's subjugated position in society. The empowerment of women is inextricable to education. Women education leads to women empowerment and human well-being. It is a gateway of social and economic development. In spite of the evidences that denotes a vital role of girls' education to development, gender disparity in education still exists. So, the first step towards change is acknowledging that gender inequalities exist. Women are marginalized in general. However, rural women are even behind their urban counterparts. Empowerment of women needs to begin at home. On this backdrop, 50 households in the Acharakhai Gram Panchayat area was surveyed to establish and evaluate the position of women. So the main objective are to analyze the socio-cultural barriers for women and to explore the wash, sanitation and hygiene sector concerning women's health and hygiene. So quickly moving on to the findings, total population. The exceeding number of female in the study area is indeed a positive social indication. And in the head of the family, 82% are male and 18% is female. So the disproportion is a testimony to the fact that patriarchal ideals and the power hierarchy in the society still exists. So educational qualifications, education empowers an individual irrespective of the gender. The data shows that the women are more educated than their male counterpart. However, the next figure depicts that 76% of the male earn, while only 24% of the female are who works. So, the stereotype of perceiving women as homemaker and caregiver, while male are the breadwinners of the family, is highly prevalent. Okay, so the food related fasting, 86% of the females participates in fasting, while only 14% of male participates in fasting. This also proves that gender is deeply rooted in religion as well. So, quickly moving on to the next health and hygiene sector, the water. Having access to water is a basic necessity for everyone. However, the fetching responsibility of fetching water falls on the shoulder of women. All the household of Acharakhai Gram Panchayat area had access to water and toilet. So, toilet is a basic, sanitation is very important to female health and hygiene, especially women during menstruation and pregnancy. So, product used during menstruation. So, it is the fundamental right of every girl to have access to better, safe and hygienic products. However, the socio-economic factors come to play here because all women of the society cannot afford nice, good products. So hence, the reusable clothes, old clothes are still used despite so old clothes are also used during menstruation. There is a lack of awareness because of the socio-economic condition. So, the family planning. So, family planning is very central to gender equality and women empowerment. It also improves the education facility. So, conclusion. So, to conclude, women continues to play a secondary role to men in our society. Indian society is still regulated by patriarchal ideals. There is an uneven distribution of power between the sexes. All Indian citizens, irrespective of their sexes, are free. However, we are confined to religion, culture, and tradition. Empowerment of women is strongly associated with the level of education. Higher the level of education, greater the empowerment of women. It also improves the quality of life of women, but also families, community and country. The awareness and the much needed change in the status of women can be brought by education alone. Women are standing at the threshold. They have come far, but they still have miles to go. Thank you. Now I would like to call upon Devanuj Burban, a trainee of Siliguri B.Ed College, to present his paper.
So, good evening everyone. I am Devanuj Burban, trainee of Siliguri B.Ed College. So, my topic is use of ICT in facilitating learning process of mathematics in school education. So, first of all, mathematics is a branch of science and it deals with numbers, figures, and it also involves in our day-to-day use. And mathematics has always been an important aspect of our life. Now, ICT is an essential tool for the modern classroom which can engage the students on number of levels from basic to advanced. Next, the objective of my paper was to assess the importance of ICT in mathematics education, to know the role of reducing fear of learning by using ICT, to find out the ICT tools which are being used nowadays to facilitate the learning of mathematics in school education, to know the attitude of using ICT in teaching learning process by the teaching faculty in the school education. After that, I would like to tell about what are ICTs. So ICTs are basically the tools which are used to communicate, create, and manage information. For example, the computer you have in your desk, or the laptop which you have, the email which we use to communicate, and the computer mediated conference, just like Google Duo or Meet, which we use nowadays very much to communicate between each other. Next is the PowerPoint, which we use in our day-to-day life. Just like now I'm using PowerPoint to express my thoughts or views. Next, how ICT and mathematics are related, how we can use or incorporate ICT in mathematics education. So ICT can be used as a tool to perform calculations, draw graphs, and it can help us to solve problems by using calculator also, like any advanced kind of calculation. It can be also used as a tool to perform statistical analysis of data which we have collected from wherever, and it can also be used to solve problems by test and improvement or retrieval methods by using spreadsheets or Excel. And lastly, it is very much beneficial to create an image of the problem so that the student can understand it and further prove it to its limit. Next, what is the importance of ICT? So, digital materials, as you can know, like nowadays we prefer PDFs rather than books. And then technology has the power to make the teaching easy by using the audio-visual, just like I'm using the visual presentation to express my thoughts. Next, the student and teachers can access information at any point of time. Like you can have your information or any file in Google Drive, and from there you can access it at any time or any moment. Next, it also enables people to become effective, independent learners. Nowadays, like the students, they are using e-learning platform to learn by themselves. They don't need any tuition teachers and all. Next, I will move to what barriers I have found out during my research. First, the teachers suffers technical difficulties while utilizing ICT tools. Next, a failure of internet connection might be the problem, and it can act as a barrier of ICT implementation. Next, the thing which we should do is to encourage the use of technology, and teachers should have adequate technical expertise so that they can use the ICT in effective way. So next I will move to my conclusion. This study demonstrated the use of ICT in mathematics. So there were some obstacles which I found out while integrating the ICT in mathematics teaching learning process. And there is a huge potential to improve the teaching learning process by the use of ICT. And we can engage teachers to use ICT by giving them proper training. Proper training, they can use the ICT and facilitate the learning teaching process. Thank you. Next, I would like to call Neeta ma'am on stage.
So, thank you all the participants. There were totally 15 candidates, participants. Out of them, 9 are our direct student trainees. So, I think you all are engaged with their research work mainly. And now, if there is any questions, I open the session for interaction. Those who are within here, any question? So I have to conclude because this is my accountability and responsibility also. First, Dr. Rai sir has focused on supervised model, that is the hierarchical approaches of psychological model and mainly based on the tribal people of Manipur. Next, Kiran Supa, history of teacher education. He introduced the term PCK, pedagogical content knowledge, that is very applicable in this modern technologies of TPAC. Next, Kosturi, role of technology in new normal situation, that is already have discussed by our Krishnajyoti Goswami sir. Next, Chandrakala, the equality and inclusiveness of Indian culture. What is the relation between culture and social change? He also mentioned different types of SOAM, etc. and its relevance in the present context. Next, Muhammad Hanif, role of education in promoting culture, values, etc. He also mentioned the different types of values, how to inculcate and enhance our societies and enrich our education. Tanushree also discussed with multiculturalism. So different types of multi-dimensions context are coming here. Next, Shantana Singho, equality is she also mentioned. After that, Dipankar Chakraborty, our student, he gives emphasis on digital devices, funding limits, and study of demographic attributes, very new context, and the idea of MYS, mean year of schooling. Next, Deepa Singho, she has mentioned the role of primary education and interest towards education, that is of from the very core level. She also mentioned the role of the fishermen, their awareness, their attitudes towards education, etc. After that, Aditi Sharma, relevance of Vedic and Gurukula system, and according to him, education proceeds on a cycle and still relevant in this present context. After that, Purvasha discussed with the effect of female literacy on maternal and infant mortality rates, and she defines very clearly MMR and IMR. After that, Shobhik, the tribal folk dance, he discussed on it and inculcate the different types of how we disseminate knowledge and different types of cognitive values, kinesthetic values, etc. to our present education system. Next, Shumi, she discussed about enrollment pattern, and they are private school and private and public schools. And although the teachers have the same quality, but they have to maintain, there is a tendency of the students to go, and also from the parents to go to the public private school instead of public school, because there lack of several facilities in the public schools. Young Keith mentioned the women at threshold, gender disparity in education is still exists. And last, Devanuj, use of ICT in facilitating ICT and mathematics, and he draws a very direct correlation between communication technology and mathematics. So this is the conclusion. I am really astonished with these different types of ideas, concepts that inculcated by our trainee students, trainee teachers, as well as the teachers come outside. So thank you, thanks to all.
Thank you, Dr. Mishra, to summarize the whole technical session. Now we will wait few minutes to officially end our program.
এই সৌরভ, আমি বলবো শোন, এখানে শেষ হয়ে গেছে, এবার ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে এখানে অফিসিয়ালি এই করতে হবে, এটা লাইভ চলছে না।
শেষ করে ওখানে ভোট অফ থ্যাঙ্কস আমি দিয়ে দিচ্ছি। কী করবো, আর তো কেউ নেই, মানে কি হচ্ছে সমস্যাটা হলো যে আর তো কেউ নেই এখন, ওপরে এখনো সেশন চলছে, ওখানে স্টাফরুমে সেশন চলছে, কী করবো? 5:40 বাজে, 6টা বাজে। Good evening, everyone. Here we come to the end of the program and it is the time to vote of thanks. We are feeling honored to get this opportunity. We, Dr. Saurabh Das, on behalf of my co-convener, Sadar Shaikh and Siliguri B.Ed College of the seminar conveners, extended our thanks to our GB President Madam and as well as the Chief Patron of the seminar, respected Susmita Moitra, and our Principal Sir and the Patron of the seminar, Dr. Bibhuti Bhusan Sarangi and Dr. Rituparna Bashar Dashgupta, IQAC Coordinator, for their valuable support and motivating us for conducting this seminar. We extended our heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Hon'ble Mayor of Siliguri Municipal Corporation, Sri Goutam, and guest of honor, Professor Omprakash Mishra, Hon'ble Vice-Chancellor of North Bengal University, for their valuable consent and presence of the mayor. We give a very hearty vote of thanks to our keynote speaker, respected Professor Sanchari Mukherjee, Madam Chairperson of the keynote session, Professor Prof. Krishnajyoti Sir, our resource person, Professor Krishnajyoti Goswami Sir, and Professor Rajib Saha, and for their valuable and inspiring speech to motivate us. We are very much thankful to the person who chaired in several parallel sessions to the successful completion of this seminar. We take the opportunity to thank all the faculty members, librarian and non-teaching staff of our college for their all support. We are very thankful to all the participants for their valuable presence and all the trainees of our college for their strong support, which is highly appreciated. Thank to all, hoping that same response from your side in the future activities. Now we have to conclude the session. Once again, thank you all.
Hi, Visit.